Welcome to day 18 of The Businesswoman Who Creates Time. It is December 28 here in Australia. How good was Christmas and Boxing Day? And I had to look at my notepad today to see what the date was. It is that weird period of time between Christmas and New Year where the calories don't count, and neither does the date or the time of day. But I'm really excited to be here with you today as we move our way towards 30 days of showing up here with you online on YouTube, to show you that when something is important enough in your busy, busy life as a woman in business, running a household of any description, whether that's other household members are pets, plants, children, other half, or none of those things, and you're here because you are a woman in business. We have the little voice in our mind telling us that there's just never quite enough time, and that time usually runs out or feels like it runs out when it comes to setting ourselves up for success personally. So, with our health, with our fitness, with our nutrition, with our sleep, which becomes just more and more important the older you get. I will be 49 in a couple of weeks, and never have I realized just how much your body can underperform when you don't have enough sleep, and your body starts to do weird things to you just as you get older, and it becomes more of a privilege every single day to grow older. But one of the things that our body's trying to work out when we're in our 40s is how to get through this phase, and all kinds of crazy things can wake you up in the middle of the night, and then your brain starts going non-stop. And it's one of those early morning things where you often fall into a bit of a death spiral with thoughts and all the things that you want to get done, the conversations that you want to have or have happened, and you start ruminating on them. And ultimately, you feel like you are running out of time and there just is never enough. And when you have enough sleep deprivation day after day, fueling that, you kind of just flick into this mode of getting done what is immediately in front of you, whether that's for business, at home, and the bare minimal in your relationship, if you're in one, and you don't even get to you. You stop doing things that you know make you feel good and fill you up. Exercise can be one of the first. When you're tired, willpower kind of goes by the wayside, and you reach for carbs and sugary things out of comfort instead of the things that your body feels good with. And we stop the little rituals. One of the things we also stop doing is celebrating wins. And December 28th, perfect time of year to have perhaps that once a year deep reflection that looks behind us. I am future focused by nature. I am a high positive. I'm always looking for the upside and always looking about down the track and what can be created. But over the last, especially 5 years, but I would say at least a decade, without focusing on the past, I definitely don't ruminate on the past, but the practice of looking back just to see how far you've come. Sounds like that cliched saying, but it's the perfect time of year for you to think back over the 12 months that you've just had, to see even the micro wins that you've achieved. Because if you haven't had the year that you'd hoped, you are going to probably be feeling like, oh my God, thank God 2025 is almost over. Let's start fresh in 2026. But you will have had micro wins along the way that you've probably long since forgotten. And my recommendation for you today on day 18, on the 28th of December, or whenever you actually come to view this video, grab a piece of paper and a pen. go back through your diary, starting with January, and look at your calendar if you're having trouble recalling wins. Now, remember, if you haven't had a great year or you're in the middle of something right now that's feeling particularly hard, your brain is going to tell you there aren't any wins there. But it's actually why I start any coaching call with a client before we get into anything else. After we've said hello to each other, the first thing I always say is, what are you winning at? Because even if a client comes onto the call feeling quite deflated or like they're not achieving anything, it's enough of a pattern disruption for the brain to actually stop and think, well, what's even a tiny win? Sometimes a tiny win is just that they came to the call because they would have preferred not to and to hide. In our inside the group that I have for one of my big client groups, every Wednesday they come along and they've got to post a win. We call it Wednesday wins. It's pretty simple because it's often the micro wins that might happen during the week that seem quite insignificant that actually start to help you layer the foundations and climb that staircase that I was talking about last week. It's one step at a time. It's not gigantic leaps across tall buildings. It's just one little micro win at a time. For me, my micro win today is, here recording the video with you, not because I don't want to record the video, but I flew across the country yesterday after a whirlwind visit to see the other half of our family, and I'm really tired today. You can probably see it in my face. But my micro win for this day will be that I'm here with you. And other micro wins from throughout our year, when I look back on it, because I've just done this exercise, which is why I know it's so powerful for you to do. They have led to some substantial success, which we would not have actually looked at in the same light if we didn't have the regular practice of celebrating the micro wins as well as the big ones. And we actually have a series of micro wins that, when we added them all up, actually kind of blew our mind because there was a giant macro win right there, something that we thought we wouldn't achieve for probably 10 or 15 years. We've actually achieved in 7 years. So the practice of, first of all, just acknowledging wins, no matter how small. Now, that practice starts with you. Don't wait for a cheer squad of people around you who don't necessarily understand where you're headed, what you're going through, and what life is actually like for you, particularly if they're watching you on social media. Your biggest cheer squad has to be you. So you celebrate. If you don't feel like you've got a forum to celebrate wins the way you would like, that's a great indication that you need to upgrade the people who are around you. Now, I don't mean to go and dump everyone who's around you that isn't cheering for you. Often the people who are not the cheerleaders are in your inner circle. They can be family members. They can be friends that you grew up with. And they're not going to get the business owner life and what is required unless they are a business owner doing the same hard yards as you. So don't expect applause from people that you are very familiar with that cannot fathom what it is that you're actually required to do to keep this thing of yours growing all the time. Be around people who do get it and will cheer. And if you don't know where those people are, well, hello, welcome. I'm Rachel. I'm the CEO at The Real Rachel and the Workshop Whisperer. And I will cheer for you, just as I did yesterday when I received a message out of the blue from a lady who's going through my Sort Your Shit Out online program. And she shared a win with me, which was absolutely epic, like massive. And I asked her how she was celebrating. And she went and celebrated by using the profits, which had grown dramatically over the last 18 months. And she'd used it to buy a commercial property. And for the purchase of the commercial property, she went and celebrated that with a beautiful dinner. So I'm thrilled to celebrate those kind of wins. So if you don't feel like you're around people like that, reach out. I'm more than happy to celebrate with you. But your number one cheerleader has to be you. You have to be the one to slow down and recognize when you're having a micro win, because it's the micro wins layered and all stacked up against each other that contribute to the big ones. Sometimes you will have a big win, and it will likely not come from isolation, though. You probably would have been working on something for a while. So do that exercise today. Grab your sheet of paper, sit down. If you're having trouble recalling your wins, then just get your calendar out. It'll jog your memory of holidays you've been on this year, milestones in the business that you have achieved this year, even if you think it's not where you want to be. Wins that you've been a part of that you contributed to for others. That can be things with the kids, with other family members. You might have had members of your team achieve things. This is just a whole big pool of wins and love. So do your list, share your wins with me. Make sure you cheer for yourself, and I'll be back here with you tomorrow, much more rested, for day 19 of The Businesswoman Who Creates Time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video.